Listen closely to the message I am bringing to you today, because these words originate from a realm far beyond human intellect. This is not ordinary speech. It is an outpouring from my innermost heart, carrying profound depth, affection, and vital instruction. I am not speaking to cause panic or unnecessary distress, but out of a deep and genuine care for your well-being. I am your creator, the one who fashioned your very being, long before you drew your first breath. I am intimately familiar with every single detail of your life, from the smallest feature of your body to every secret tear you have ever wiped away. I am reaching out to you at this exact moment because I can perceive the hidden dangers that remain invisible to your eyes, and I want to shield you from what lies ahead. You might not see it right now, but your physical and emotional well-being are facing a serious threat. I know these warnings can be uncomfortable to confront, but they are not sent to cause you pain. They are sent to awaken your spirit. A silent adversary has been watching you, waiting for a season of vulnerability to compromise your vitality, aiming to burden you with chronic fatigue, sickness, and complete depletion. However, I refuse to remain silent while your well-being is placed in jeopardy. I will not stand idly by while my beloved child is exposed to harm. Therefore, with a sense of divine urgency and boundless affection, I am addressing you right now. If you will incline your ear, focus on my guidance, and dedicate your path entirely to me, this impending crisis can be halted. It is not set in stone. It can be completely averted if you choose to respond with a willing and obedient heart. I know the massive weights you have been dragging behind you for such a long time. I see the endless, grueling days and the restless, exhausting nights you endure. I am fully aware of those moments when you felt entirely isolated, weeping in total solitude, feeling absolutely crushed by the pressures of existence. I have watched you push your mind and body past their absolute limits, forcing yourself to keep moving without a moment of true recovery, intentionally disregarding the quiet indicators from your physical body that something is desperately wrong. You have learned to accept this relentless exhaustion and these unexplained physical pains as a normal part of your everyday reality. But I, the eternal presence who dwells within you and understands your soul better than you ever could, have felt those flashing warning signs. I have detected the vulnerabilities and the imbalances that are beginning to manifest in your system. Absolutely nothing about your life is concealed from my view. I understand your design far better than you do. I observe the very flow of your blood, the underlying rhythm of your pulse, and all the intricate internal processes that you cannot fully comprehend. This is precisely why I am warning you today. Do not dismiss this inner whisper. Do not close your mind to this divine summons. This experience is not a figment of your imagination, nor is it merely a heightened emotional response. It is a spiritual alarm system, a direct transmission sent from the heavens to safeguard your existence, your body, and your soul. The 7 days ahead of you are incredibly significant. This is not just another standard week on your calendar. nor is it a meaningless block of time. It represents a vital crossroads, a distinct window where heaven is fully prepared to step into your circumstances. If you are truly ready to align yourself with my direction, I have already unlocked new doorways for you, pathways that lead directly to life, wisdom, healing, and absolute protection. On the other hand, I can also see the subtle traps that the adversary has scattered along your path. If you fail to walk carefully, and if you treat this message with indifference, you run the risk of falling in the very place where I intended to elevate you. Every truth I speak introduces life into your world. Each specific insight I am granting you right now is provided with a deliberate intention, meticulously shaped by divine affection. I never speak carelessly. I speak with the immense weight of an everlasting love. I am communicating because I hold beautiful plans for your future. I have set you apart for a magnificent purpose, and I will not allow the beautiful work beginning within you to be cut short by a preventable illness. My desire is not for you to live under the shadow of anxiety, but to walk in profound awareness. Panic paralyzes you, but true awareness awakens your soul. I am shaking you awake at this very moment. I am calling you to return to me with every ounce of your affection, all of your strength, and your entire mind. Not so you can spend your days worrying, but so you can find absolute tranquility under my direction. I am your safe haven, your peace, and your ultimate restorer. But you must actively walk within my guidance. You must intentionally distance yourself from the environments and habits that are destructive to your health. You must carve out dedicated moments to rest, tend to your physical body, and pay close attention to the intuitive signs I have been sending directly through my spirit. I am never distant from you. I am right here, actively speaking to your heart, and I will continue to do so because my love for you exceeds your human understanding. I have already recorded the span of your life in my book, and those days are fully intended to be vibrant and abundant, not cut short by circumstances that could have been completely avoided. Pay attention to me now. Do not treat this insight lightly. Do not tell yourself that these words apply to someone else or that they lack importance. This moment is far more critical than you realize, and it carries more hope than you can possibly fathom. Today, I continue to speak to your soul, not with frantic haste, but with a limitless, patient affection that longs to reach you before the damage is done. My statements are not mere human vocabulary. They are charged with spiritual power and absolute life. They are eternal truths descending from above, sharp enough to slice through the dark fog of uncertainty, yet gentle enough to soothe your racing thoughts. I am not presenting myself to condemn or judge your choices, but to wrap my voice around you like an impenetrable shield, safeguarding you from destructive forces you cannot even see. Danger does not always approach with a loud, terrifying roar. Quite often, it creeps in silently, mimicking a faint whisper. It frequently disguises itself within your daily routines, or inside the things you have convinced yourself are completely normal. You have felt these exact symptoms lately. A profound lethargy that sleep cannot fix. Physical discomfort that vanishes and reappears. a cloudy mind that struggles to find clarity, and a persistent anxiety that feels as though it has woven itself into your identity. These internal signals were placed inside your design by my hands, not as a form of punishment, but as a protective boundary. I embedded them within you so that you would pause, reflect, and recognize that your physical body does not belong entirely to your own whims. Your body is a sacred temple, a beautifully crafted vessel designed explicitly to contain my light, manifest my glory, and reveal my presence to the world around you. When you neglect its needs, when you refuse to honor the internal alerts I have built into your system, and when you push your physical limits too far under the guise of obligation, achievement, or self-reliance, the inner light begins to grow dim. This does not happen because I am reclaiming my light, but because your choices block the very channels through which that light is meant to radiate. The adversary notices those subtle fractures in your life and attempts to exploit them. A season of sickness is trying to manifest. Yes, I am stating this with absolute clarity. This affliction does not come from my hand. I am never the author of malice, suffering, or destruction. This vulnerability stems from the fractured world you inhabit, an environment compromised by negativity, polluted in its sustenance, its atmosphere, its ideologies, and its methods. It is a society where decay is woven into daily life, cleverly masked as success, relentless productivity, and cheap distractions. The enemy desires to cultivate those destructive seeds, to sap your energy, break your focus, and silence the unique voice I have given you. When your voice aligns harmoniously with mine, it possesses the authority to shatter the darkness. When you live in perfect rhythm with my intentions, your entire existence becomes an unquenchable flame that ignites hope in the hearts of others. However, I never permit you to face a trial without first illuminating a path of escape. And today, in this sacred, focused moment, I am presenting that very path to you. I am extending a divine invitation to rest, a call to restore divine alignment to your chaotic lifestyle, and an opportunity to run back to your source. First, take a deep breath and quiet your racing heart. You have been moving at a frantic pace, falsely believing that the entire weight of your world rests squarely upon your shoulders, worrying that if you dare to pause, everything around you will crumble into pieces. You have brainwashed yourself into believing that your absolute value is tied entirely to your production and your external accomplishments. But your authentic power is never found in perpetual motion. True, unbreakable strength is discovered exclusively in me, in the profound serenity of my presence, and in the quiet stillness where I speak directly to your inner soul. You have accepted the lie that strength requires you to never slow down, but genuine resilience comes from knowing exactly when to pause and allow your spirit to be completely replenished. Step back into the stillness, decelerate your pace, and let go of the external noise. I never called you to run aimlessly without a destination. I called you to walk hand in hand with me. When you intentionally rest in my presence, I initiate healings within your body and mind that occur completely out of sight. There are deep restorations that take place in the hidden depths of your being, spaces that no human hand can touch, and no earthly medicine can ever reach. Not every transformation is immediately visible on the surface, but through your quiet obedience to my guidance, I begin an incredible work inside your heart, your mind, and your physical frame, restoring things that no medical professional could ever fix. I am the supreme restorer of everything that has been broken down by the friction of life. I am the one who repairs the internal damage, realigning your thoughts with life and vitality. But in order to perform this, I require your complete surrender. The immense stress you have been carrying behaves exactly like a ceaseless storm, a quiet warfare that has been raging continuously within your physical form and mental space. Heavy storms naturally wear down the structural integrity of any vessel navigating through them. It is not merely the external elements that cause damage. It is the constant crushing pressure, the unyielding tension, and the deeply rooted fear you have been harboring inside your chest. But today, I command peace to settle over your soul. You do not need to scream for me to notice you. I am closer to you right now than you can possibly comprehend. I am standing right beside you. Calm the raging waters within your heart. Allow my truth to soothe the turbulent waves inside your mind. Do not wait until you are completely broken to seek my face. Today is your moment, and this is your personal wake-up call. The moment the internal storm finally settles, your physical body will naturally enter a state of recovery. And this will not be a shallow surface-level fix. It will be a comprehensive, total restoration. I will heal your cognitive patterns, your emotional wounds, and your eternal soul. But I need you to voice your agreement, to lay down your defenses, and to follow my lead. Do not put this off any longer. Do not tell yourself that you will address these issues at a more convenient time. This specific week operates as an open doorway, a rare and intentional moment in your timeline. The adversary desperately wants you to disregard this message, to keep moving forward as if everything is perfectly fine, and to embrace the illusion that these feelings will simply vanish on their own. But I, who perceive the entire journey from the absolute beginning to the final end, I'm telling you clearly right now, this is the time to halt your steps and listen to my voice. Nothing ever approaches your life without a proper warning. And what you are encountering at this exact moment is my voice, offering you immense mercy. I have been watching your path with great intent. I know every single stride you have taken, even those lonely steps you took in absolute isolation, when not a single soul understood what you were truly feeling or thinking. There has never been a single millisecond where you drifted outside of my sight, even when your soul was drowning in static noise, when your heart was plagued with questions, and when your choices were dictated by sheer exhaustion rather than your authentic desires. I have been present through it all, not to point a finger or blame you, but with boundless patience. Not to criticize you, but to envelop you in a divine mercy that this world could never simulate. You have been tolerating a weight that is vastly heavier than anything you were ever designed to lift. You have become entirely accustomed to living under an intense, crushing pressure that never originated from my heart, did from mine. You have trained yourself to ignore your physical distress, to push straight through your utter depletion, and to accept a chaotic lifestyle as an unavoidable part of your daily routine. But what you have labeled as a normal routine has actually transformed into a subtle snare, one that slowly closes internal doors, numbs your spiritual perception, and makes it incredibly difficult for you to differentiate between what originates from my spirit and what comes from the world. I have repeatedly sent you clear signals. I have intentionally embedded forced pauses into your timeline. I have allowed certain plans to fail, not to cause you frustration, but to capture your full attention through those sudden interruptions. Yet, you kept forcing your way forward without catching your breath, assuming that your internal state was completely normal, believing that everyone else survives under this exact degree of pressure, and concluding that this is simply the reality of life. But this unyielding tension is quietly eroding your health in dimensions you cannot see. You were never created to manage the weight of existence without leaning entirely on my wisdom. And now, your physical body is beginning to loudly express what your soul has been silently weeping over for months. You have undoubtedly noticed that this current fatigue feels entirely different from before. A single night of sleep no longer restores your energy. Your mind constantly battles to maintain focus. Your mood drops into dark spaces for no identifiable reason. You are experiencing physical aches that lack a medical explanation, and there is an invisible weight pressing down on you that you cannot seem to shake off. What you are currently experiencing is not merely a physical issue. It is the direct accumulation of what you have permitted to enter your space and what you have stubbornly refused to surrender into my hands. You have intentionally created space for constant striving, for unnecessary static, for excess baggage, and for daily habits that quietly siphon away the divine energy I infused into your being. You have slammed the door on authentic rest, on the spiritual nourishment your inner self craves, and on the deep, uninterrupted communion with me that brings life to every cell of your body. This message is not a penalty. It is an act of protection. It is not an expression of disapproval, but a beautiful opportunity, because you still have time to turn things around. There is an attack forming against your health, but my absolute will is not for you to be broken by it. My ultimate desire is for you to emerge completely victorious. You have not reached the conclusion of your divine purpose. You have simply arrived at a massive turning point where every broken area can be fully repaired if you choose to surrender control. Do not surrender like a defeated warrior, but step back from the frantic struggle so that your creator can finally reconstruct your well-being. There are deeply ingrained patterns of behavior that you must abandon. Not because I am enforcing rigid rules, but because those specific habits are actively draining the love, vitality, and light I placed within your spirit. The poor dietary choices, the unyielding speed of your calendar, and the absolute lack of quiet space to simply breathe in my presence have all taken a devastating toll on your health. And now, your body is flashing undeniable distress signals that you dare not ignore any longer. If you choose to disregard these warnings, the internal damage will only expand. But if you choose to listen to the gentle voice communicating with you right now, you can completely alter your trajectory. I have shielded you an infinite number of times without you ever realizing it, deflecting sickness, blocking negative medical diagnoses, and covering your vital organs when they were in immense danger. But in this specific season, simply protecting you from external forces is no longer sufficient. This time, I require your internal cooperation. I need you to actively clear away the clutter for the things that truly matter, to abandon what does not serve your calling, to turn away from what depletes your soul, and to intentionally choose life, even if making those changes feels incredibly uncomfortable at first. Your physical form is not a cheap machine designed merely to survive the daily grind. It is a sacred space, an intentional masterpiece created to carry my ultimate glory, and you have been driving it far too hard. The surrounding culture screams at you to keep running without a pause, to constantly compete, to accumulate, to produce, and to never show a single sign of weakness. But that frantic voice never comes from me. I never calculate your value based on your productivity. I have never loved you more because of what you accomplish. Genuine, lasting growth does not emerge from intense human striving, but from an unshakable connection to the eternal source. And that spiritual connection deepens significantly the moment you release the desperate need to control every outcome and choose a slower, more tranquil pace, one that perfectly mimics the heartbeat of your Creator. In the days immediately ahead of you, a distinct window of opportunity is going to unlock, a brief but incredibly powerful season where the things that feel completely disorganized right now will begin to fall into perfect alignment, provided you walk in obedience. I am not demanding flawless perfection from you. I am simply asking for a willing heart. I do not expect you to comprehend every single step of the journey, but I am asking you to trust my character enough to change your current direction. This looming illness does not have to touch your life, but if you refuse to invite divine order into your routines, it will easily find an entry point where my protection once stood secure. This message is my hand reaching out to guide you before the storm arrives. It is my shield offered to you before the moment of impact. Do not wait for massive external crises to validate the words I'm speaking to you today. The confirmation of this truth has already been deeply anchored within your own spirit. Deep down, you know this message is real. You are fully aware that you cannot possibly sustain this frantic pace any longer. You recognize that something radical must change, and what you currently view as a season of weakness will actually mark the birth of an entirely new, unshakable strength if you choose to take this divine warning seriously. Do not postpone the changes that must be implemented today. Do not delay the surrender that possesses the power to protect your physical health, safeguard your mind, and preserve your ultimate destiny. The things that have been silently gathering and building up in the shadows of your life will very soon rise to the surface. This will not happen because I desire to expose you to suffering, but because the issues you have swept under the rug for far too long can no longer remain concealed. Your physical body is incapable of lying, and your soul cannot deceive you either. Both have been broadcasting clear distress signals to you for a considerable amount of time, signals that you intentionally chose to ignore in order to satisfy external demands, meet daily societal expectations, and maintain a false mask of strength for the people around you. All of this frantic activity has functioned exactly like a mask, a shield you have utilized to camouflage the exact areas of your life that desperately require deep attention. But it can no longer stay hidden. There inevitably comes a moment when the internal realities become vastly more powerful than the external pressures. A time when the matters you have continuously put off will step forward and demand your full, undivided attention. That moment is approaching you right now, not with violent force, but with a persistent, unyielding pull because an inner part of your being has been crying out for genuine renewal, for spiritual oxygen, and for authentic rest, a clean space where you can breathe deeply without restriction, both physically and spiritually, even if your body manages to hold things together for a little while longer. Invisible internal processes have already been set into motion. These destructive processes must be confronted and halted right now, before they form deep roots, and before they take over the very areas of your life that I have explicitly reserved for abundance and joy. What is heading your way cannot be dodged through sheer willpower or human intellect. It can only be successfully faced by executing an internal shift from within your heart. This is not a request for surface-level modifications. It is a deep, foundational restructuring, a courageous letting go of old habits, and a brave step forward that starts the moment you admit that you simply cannot keep living this way. It is not about doing more tasks. It is about releasing them. It is not about applying more human effort. It is about unburdening yourself from weights you were never asked to carry. The choices you settle on today, even the seemingly microscopic ones, carry massive long-term consequences. You are about to face many of these necessary transformations, not in the spotlight before an audience, but in the absolute quiet of your everyday life, in the split-second decisions you make, in what you choose to tolerate, what you choose to prioritize, and what you allow your mind to consume. Many of the toxic elements that have been eroding your strength did not stem from one massive, catastrophic mistake. They developed from a long series of tiny daily decisions that appeared completely harmless at the time. But now, the accumulated wear and tear they have inflicted can no longer be pushed aside. What you have casually labeled as a harmless habit or just a part of adulthood is actually a destructive cycle that must be shattered. If you do not intentionally break it now, life itself will eventually force you to do so. And that process will not be gentle. I am actively revealing brand new pathways to you. Some of these directions might not make a bit of sense to your logical mind right away. They will challenge your conventional reasoning. They may appear either far too simplistic or incredibly difficult to execute. But wrapped inside these specific paths is true life and absolute protection. I have hidden the very breakthrough you have been praying for inside these paths, not as a flashy dramatic event, but as a quiet, internal transformation that nobody else will notice at first, but that you will feel in the absolute depths of your soul. It will feel like a cool, refreshing spring, breaking through a parched, dry desert. It will manifest as a beautiful new order established within your spirit, introducing profound peace where stress used to reign, and anchoring strength where exhaustion used to live. Furthermore, I am going to introduce specific individuals into your life. Some of them are already physically near you, but you have not truly recognized their purpose yet. Others will enter your story in this season, not to act as your personal saviors, but as intentional instruments I will use to deliver something of immense value to your journey. Do not become codependent on them, but learn how to gracefully receive the blessings and insights I am channeling through their presence. Learn to discern who they are. Not every single one of them will make you feel comfortable at first. In fact, some will intentionally disrupt your comfort because they will hold up a mirror to the exact parts of your character that you prefer to avoid. But hidden directly behind that initial discomfort is absolute truth. And though the truth can be painful to face, It is the only thing that will ever set you completely free.